All right, children, gather around. Well, actually, you know what? Fuck you, kids. You're supposed to be asleep. All right,
Yes.
this isn't for you. So
Yeah.
I know Pokemon's a kids game or whatever, but
We
fuck
don't
off,
care.
really. No, but really, gather around. It's time for some spooky and maybe not so spooky ghost stories. You know, Pokemon
Enjoyable.
has some pretty interesting ghost types.
It
and
does.
some interesting lore behind
Yeah.
them that again we did something similar last year, right?
Mhm.
To where we went into some interesting Pokemon that had some interesting lore. You know, like I think we did Drifloon.
We did Drifloon. We did.
But I think we even did like the
Trevenant.
Abra Trevenant.
Yeah, we just kind of went into like some
Just
of the
spooky
background.
stories.
So today, what would you like to do?
We're going to, you know what? I think what we should do. Let's hone in on a couple of Pokemon.
All right.
Let's pick 3 Pokemon that are currently available in Pokemon Go today that people might not know much about because you really don't get lore in Pokemon Go outside of whatever Willow regurgitates on you.
Truth.
And so let's do. I'll pick 3. You pick 3. You pick 3. I
Alright.
pick 3. Whatever. Current Pokemon in Pokemon Go, and then we'll go into those. And then after that, I think what we can do is we can spooky. We
Like
can
noises.
pick 3 Pokemon that are coming to Pokemon Go eventually.
Okay.
And kind of share some lore and some interesting tidbits about those Pokemon. I think that might be kind of fun.
I'm down.
So, actually, you know what? Why don't you start? Start me off.
Okay.
Or do you want me to start off? Doesn't matter.
I'll start. I have no problem doing
All right, start me off. Who you got? What's your
So,
one Pokemon currently in Pokemon Go available today
all right.
that interests you?
So, one of them is Haunter. Haunter's intrigued me.
Haunt.
Haunt. I think Gengar, he's definitely like a crowd favorite. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
We have the spooky event right now where make a version of him's out, which is awesome. But Haunter I've always liked because the floating hands is what gets me. And
Do you remember licking Charmander in the anime?
in the anime, well, he was just like scary.
Ah.
And that kind of goes into lore. So part of his background is
Okay.
like if a human or a person comes near him, he's gonna stalk them and basically, like he floats nearby and beckons for them to come closer.
Bro.
So like whispers and all that. And if you remember the little shorts that they did on YouTube, and I highly encourage people to watch it. Like they embrace what the haunted ghost places in
Yeah.
the Pokemon world are like.
And let me reiterate, like, I know we always talk about living in Pokemon world would be kind of interesting. It would be terrifying.
It'd be horrifying.
Horrifying.
And with Haunter specifically, once he approaches you, he licks his victims with a gassy tongue, inflicting convulsions
What
in
that
his
tongue do?
victims until death.
Oh, God.
And despite its predatory nature, it can also be entertaining and prank people. So it can be seen as a fun thing, but if it sees you as basically prey, it goes after your ass.
So you're saying it can lick me for fun, to prank me?
Yeah, just to cause you to convulse and be
Or if it
scared.
wants to eat me
It'll-
and my ass,
yeah,
it will lick me.
lick the whole thing, up, down, front to back, side to side.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, like it's dirty.
Oh my gosh.
Now, my second boy
All right,
is a
number
boy
2.
that we all know and love,
Yeah.
Alolan Marowak.
Well, Marowak's amazing.
So original Alolan Marowak, or original Marowak, everyone knows a sad story that it, like, Marowak itself sacrificed itself and had a spirit. So I like to think of Alolan Marowak as, like, the spirit of Cubone's dead mom.
Okay.
As, like, what this is. And in the game, if you played Sun and Moon and you're near roads, the mounds are supposed to be where Marowaks have been buried.
Oh gosh.
Which is kind of weird to think about. Like, now I'm thinking about it when I was playing Sun and Moon. I don't recall how many mounds I saw on roads, but
There's
now
probably a few.
probably a few. But basically, the dance that it does is a way of mourning its lost allies.
Okay.
And Alolan Marowak is known to always be dancing, so it just has a lot of lost, fallen friends, is what I would assume.
Yeah.
It'd be. The flames itself are spread out onto opponents and cannot be put out by anything, so eternal flames. And the flames itself are known to cause mental and physical pain, which isn't something I would think about. And again, living in the Pokemon world,
Uh-huh.
physical pain is one thing, but mental anguish is a whole other beast.
Exactly.
So that's kind of, I wouldn't have even thought of that for those flames. I just thought they were always beautiful.
Like, they're cool, right? Like, the
Yes.
animation of Alola Marowak alone is just
Yeah.
like, you're like sucked into it. You're like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
And it's
That's so
a
cool.
dance, and I loved it.
Yeah.
And now that I'm like, how the trainer in the game, because he's always dancing around with them and they're spinning the fire.
Yeah.
He can be hurt mentally and physically.
Yeah,
by
you
that.
imagine. Like, you
So-
send out your Pokemon and it's hurting you.
Yeah. The third one I have is the shiny boy I always get, which is Duskull.
Duskull.
Duskull, he's just cool. I thought he was a great concept
Okay.
of a Pokemon.
Okay.
And I like ghost concepts, and I really hope that the game embraces more of that going forward. Duskull is said to be Pokemon that will spirit away disobedient children. So again, Duskull should be taking a lot of these ratchet-ass children away.
Oh no.
But it's also said to be described to enjoy the crying of children,
Oh.
which is kind of weird. Once Duskull
Kinda
gets a
sketch.
target, it will doggedly pursue its intended victim until the break of dawn. Which makes me think of like Hocus Pocus. Like, it will follow you and it wants to try to get at you before the sun rises.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. And if you look at it, kind of also makes me think of the recent games with Sword and Shield, where Pokemon, if they spot you, will like follow your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just another horrific thing. Like, it's gonna pursue you until it gets
Can
you.
you imagine Ghost Pokemon?
It's like the
What do you
It
think-
Follows, but with Pokemon.
Oh no. But the only way to, well, it follows is sex based, right?
Oh yeah, the sexually transmitted demon. No doubt. Like, if
What
you
a
haven't
wonderful
seen that,
premise.
watch it.
No, but like, if you think Pokemon, like these ghost Pokemon, terrifying. Pokemon in general would be a terrifying world to live in, as we can see, like kind of in Detective Pikachu, right?
That was a good one.
Like, I love that movie, but you know, you look at ghost Pokemon, would they be more terrifying, like in a rural setting, or do you think in the city? Because there's
The
more, like an
city-
opportunity to have more of them.
It's more of them. It's the density that always. I think if you're in a neighborhood, so if I was thinking like Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Okay.
like you're out in the boonies, like middle of nowhere, with sketch ass rednecks trying to do something, and you know they have a secret. If a Gengar just showed up or something like that, would just make the situation worse.
Okay.
Because not only are you trying to escape like physical violence, you have someone that will like, in essence, spirit your dumbass away.
Or
Like,
lick me to death
or
in the
lick me
case
to
of a
death.
haunter.
and I wouldn't want that. Or someone that could burn not only my body, but my mind and my spirit.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
That's not okay.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, again, you know, we live in a more dense, you know, city. We're not
Yeah.
quite New York City, LA, or
Thank
anything like
God.
that. But, like, just ghost Pokemon out in the wild would just be wild to me.
All right.
So, I'll go through. So, my 3 that are currently in the game that I like a lot,
All
like,
right.
just for just weird reasons. Shedinja. Everyone's been seeing Shedinja in the research
I love
boxes.
him.
They're like, whatever, it's a little
He's
bug. Ha
adorable.
ha ha. Ninkata, you know, could either be Ninjask or Shedinja. But people don't know, or maybe they do know, Shedinja's a ghost Pokemon, if you couldn't tell from this little halo-looking thing. So, like, at first you look at it and you're like, it can't be that threatening. It has, like, weird wings and a halo and, like, slits for eyes, and it's just got, like, little nubs. It doesn't really have legs
Yeah.
or anything like that. You know, whatever. However, in the mainstay games, and if you ever see it from behind, I don't think anyone's using these in Go battles, but if you see
Not yet.
Shedinja from behind, you twirl it around, you'll notice a big ass hole on its back. You know, on its back are a pair of tattered wings divided into like 3 little winglets.
Okay.
So one, it doesn't flap, it doesn't move. I think that's just disarming. It's creepy to me.
It's
The way it just floats. Like, can you imagine it's just like in the corner, just there.
I think of it like a glitch in a game where the character's just immobilized,
Oh, they
but
call
they're
it, like,
still moving.
T-posing you too, like when
Yeah.
they're just like they haven't loaded in
Ugh.
properly. Anyway, so on its back, there's a hole between its wings that reveals like the body isn't. There's nothing there. It has no organs. It's completely hollow and dark. So it's just like a black hole. Well, fun fact: if you look into this empty space, it steals your spirit, and you're stuck in that bug forever.
Yay! Fun.
You know, and it, yeah, that's, oh my gosh, like, that's creepy. I just love, Shedinja's cool though. It's always interesting to get it in the game too, because you had to evolve your Ninkata, but have an extra spot open in your party, and have a Pokeball with you.
Yeah. So thank God we don't have to do that now, because how would you do that when you don't have a team?
True. But yeah, so it's, you know, it just like, the spirit of this dead cicada exoskeleton
is enough to take
starts floating, and then it can steal your soul if you look into the hole on its back, which, again, if you're its trainer, you're always looking at the hole on its back. That's fucked. But anyway,
good luck, everybody.
The next Pokemon that's in Pokemon Go that I absolutely love, it's a ghost Pokemon, is Golurk. A lot of people don't realize Golurk's typing is actually Ghost Ground. A lot of people assume Steel because it looks like a robot,
yes,
and everything like that. So I'm going to read a little bit of synopsis on it. So Golurk, bipedal automaton, resembling a suit of armor. Basically, it was built or made in like ancient times to be to help guard people or protect people, but also as a laborer. So people used it for building shit and
okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's one of the reasons it's my favorite is actually from playing Black and White.
Okay.
Golurk can fly. It's a robot, right? It's a ghost ground.
Like
it doesn't fly like
giant.
Floating. It literally like kind of like Iron Giant. Like it literally just like transforms itself into like a jet, and it can fly faster than the speed of sound.
What?
Yeah. However, if you haven't noticed, it has like this big kind of gash across its chest, and it'll have a seal.
It looks like an urn almost.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So if that seal on its chest is removed, its energy runs wild, and its energy, the color turns from yellow to red. It's kind of interesting. I wish you could see that in games better. It rages and flies around uncontrollably, and then it can't land itself, so it just kind of flies through the air and bombards people. And it attacks indiscriminately, so it doesn't realize who it's attacking or what it's attacking when it's like raging like this.
Oh.
It's actually also capable of forming like a giant cannon. Like it can it's like the Iron Giant.
Mega form of that.
That would be sick. It fires like energy beams and all this other stuff. Like I said, it's created by an ancient civilization originally to protect people and Pokemon, along with being it's a laborer.
Ooh.
So people just kind of use it as a robot to do all their shit.
Now they just need to do like an Atlantis and have them there.
Ooh, Pokemon Atlantis, please.
Yes.
Golurk will. Like I said, this one's not quite as spooky, but it's just an interesting Pokemon. It faithfully follows its trainer's orders without question. So if you're its trainers, it'll always listen to you no matter what.
Huh.
And it also served as like sentries in the military, built walls of ancient castles, etc. There's a theory that it's supposedly a perpetual motion machine that creates a limitless amount of energy. So.
Oh.
But yeah, so just be careful with its seal, otherwise it'll blow your ass up. The next one, actually fairly recent, I think. That it has a different form. So Yamask and Cofagrigus.
Yes.
Though Galarian Yamask was the one that was recently added. That one actually evolves into a Pokemon called Runigrigus. But I'll kind of focus mainly on Yamask and Cofagrigus in this one.
Okay.
So, Yamask, as you guys know, is like this weird shadow Pokemon that holds a golden mask. That mask is actually its face from when it was a human. Like, imagine just seeing something floating with its face.
I just remember seeing a comic of it, and it was like incredibly sad.
So it has two shadowy, tendril-like arms, large red eyes, tail-like appendage that holds the mask. It's capable of speech when possessing a human, but not in its regular form. So it can possess you and then speak through you.
Just like Ghastly did.
Yeah.
In that one episode where that Ghastly spoke like perfect English.
Due to being a human long ago, it has memories of being a human. It becomes furious when the mask is lost or taken away. If someone wears the mask it carries, you become possessed, which that's creepy.
That seems like a dumbass thing to do.
But it would happen, People are dumb.
They'd make horror movies.
Sometimes it looks at this mask and cries longingly. And it's known to wander to the ruins of ancient civilizations. Like I said, Galarian Yamask is a little bit different. It has purple eyes and the ancient clay tablet directly attached around its tail. The tablet actually bears like cursed engravings that resemble a serpent's tail and is said to absorb Yamask's dark power. But again, I'm going to focus on Cofagrigus for this next bit. If you guys haven't evolved your Yamask into Cofagrigus, it's pretty crazy. It's a sarcophagus Pokemon.
It's legit.
It's red, it's got menacing eyes, it's got hands that appear to be shadows. It's a really simple designed face because it's the same mask that the Yamask used to have.
Yeah.
So again, imagine it in the real world where it's a person's face.
See, I'll speak after you're done.
Okay. And so like, but if you guys couldn't tell, that's not obviously the real face of the Pokemon.
Yes.
The actual Pokemon is inside the sarcophagus. Its real face is covered up by parts that slide open when it's active. White, sharp fangs create a taunting smile, and flamboyant patterns veil the coffin. It is said to be made of solid gold. So, okay, it's already kind of creepy. It's a sarcophagus or whatever. Well, ancient legends once told Cofagrigus could seal nearby humans in their bodies and turn them into mummies. More often than not, grave robbers and people like Indiana Jones are the ones that, mistake them for normal coffins, and they end up suffering this fate.
Good. Plunderers like that.
So it was, again, Cofagrigus said that once have been human, but now it has forgotten its memories when it was alive. They also enjoy eating gold nuggets. I don't know why Pokedex decided to throw that tidbit in there, but I guess if you want to feed your Cofagrigus...
It honestly reminds me of Bly Manor on Netflix.
Okay.
So if you haven't seen that, I think that would be a nice little... It reminds me of like a certain character, so if you watch it, you'll understand why by the end.
Right on. Watch Bly Manor. This shit's good.
It's good. It's sad.
Like, Hill House was great. Bly Manor is not completely different, but it's pretty different.
It's different.
But it's still great.
The story is still, superb.
So yeah, going back to Cofagrigus real quick, it does just live in tombs and ruins, and it just waits for people to come by.
It's like the Venus flytrap.
For a long time, it was used as a symbol for the wealth of kings, so you know how that goes. People appropriating other cultures.
Of course.
Here you go. Look at my...
Yeah. Look at what we discovered in this other culture.
Yeah. So those are my 3, technically 4, if you want to include Yamask and Cofagrigus. But, those are my 3 Pokemon that are currently in Pokemon Go. I think are cool, interesting. 2 of them creepy, 1 of them not so much, but Golurk is just too awesome to leave out.
He's pretty sweet.
So, let's fast forward to the next...
To the future.
The future!
So,
I believe the children are the future.
Yes.
Future ghosts.
Goodness. Alright, so mine, anyone that's played Sun and Moon...
Gen 7.
If you have Gen 7, there's a starter Pokemon named Rowlet. Adorable.
Cute little ball owl.
Little owl. Yeah, it's so cute. Boop, boop. Has a little bow tie. But his final form is a grass and ghost type named Decidueye.
First of all, how fucking cool is that?
He's one of the sweetest
starter Pokemon of all time.
Yes, by far. And he doesn't really have a scary premise like a lot of the other ghosts, and I think it's again because he's a starter.
Okay.
But he has mad fucking skills. So he's able to fire his arrow quills, which is like on his wings.
Yeah.
With such precision, he can pierce a pebble a distance of half a mile away. That's kind of horrifying. So living in the world of Pokemon, a wild Decidueye can murk your ass.
Yeah. Or
quickness.
Or if I'm a bad dude, I'm a bad guy.
Yes.
And I want my Decidueye to fuck people up.
You can just have him murk people.
Pew pew.
The funny thing is he doesn't like to be surprised, so he gets really panicky if you surprise him because he's such a stealth operator, which makes sense. Owls by default are very quiet killers. So if you ever watch YouTube and watch owl hunts, their quickness and speed their quickness and silence is what makes them absolutely terrifying. And actually, my coworker was telling me how there's owls hunting his chihuahuas.
Oh no!
And he has to watch them because the owl is literally just waiting.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, the owl is one of those creatures that, like doves and things, you see people with owls on top of their house. It's again because owls are so stealth and murderous when it comes to things that they're hunting that they're pretty feared. So that's why, and I also just resonate with owls a lot.
You know why?
Why?
Descendants of raptors.
Oh my god, you're right. Makes perfect sense. The other one fitting the Halloween theme is Pumpkaboo.
Pumpkaboo! Cute!
Pumpkaboo, what gen is Pumpkaboo?
I believe it's Gen 5. Let me see.
I don't know.
I want to say it's Gen 5.
Well, Justin looks that up. Pumpkaboo is literally one of the cutest Pokemon of ghost variety you will ever see.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Gen 6.
Gen 6.
I'm dumb.
If you haven't seen it, look it up. It It's spelled like it
It's
sounds.
literally a pumpkin.
It's a pumpkin.
It's cute.
It comes in different sizes, and its final form is what is it?
Gorgeist.
Gorgeist, which again, clever naming. Pumpkin Boo itself is spirits wander this world, or spirits that wander this world are placed into Pumpkin Boo's body, and then they're then moved into the afterlife. So they're basically just a
vessel?
A vessel to carry you to the afterlife.
Oh, no.
Which is pretty interesting. The light that streams out of its eye holes of the pumpkin are said to hypnotize and control people and Pokemon that it gazes upon. So again, it looks like a lantern is like kind of the easiest way to describe it.
Okay.
And it floats. It's really cute. And that's why I like it. Because I'm a big fan of pumpkins, birthday in October, everything like that. I love this season. So Pumpkin Boo is just one of those Pokemon. As soon as I saw it, I wanted like 10.
It's such a cute design.
It is.
That's terrifying.
And they did such a good job.
It's another one of those Pokemon. Sorry to interrupt. It's another one of those Pokemon that has like weird, like two faces. Like Mimikyu, people don't realize Mimikyu's face is on its body, and not its head.
Yes.
Like not the Pikachu head.
True.
It's like in Pumpkin Boo, like it has the big eyes and its belly, like you said, that's where the lights come out.
Yes.
But its actual face is above.
It just reminds me, honestly, of It, where you stare into its eyes and it's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Where with It, you look at like I forgot what it was called. Those 3 orbs of light that are there to basically hypnotize you.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched It, the remake is actually decent, so give that a shot if you have not. And there's a part 1 and part 2, or chapter 1, chapter 2.
Yes, sir.
The last one I have for the future Pokemon that Pokemon Go players will probably enjoy is Sandygast. Sandygast is from Sun and Moon. Sandygast is born in the grudges of the seep into the sand, or grudges that seep into the sand, which is like pretty intense if your grudge can personify itself.
Yeah.
And such as from Pokemon that suffer defeat or the deceased. Okay. So it basically absorbs spirits of ill intent and whatever that die on its surface.
Oh gosh.
And that life force can be sucked from Pokemon and other people through its mouth once it's an actual Sandygast. So if you see it, it looks like a cute little sandcastle with a shovel on its dome.
Okay.
And so people, again, in the Alolan region, which is, again, Gen 7?
Yeah, Gen 7.
Would almost think of it like a rite of passage to stick their hand in its fucking mouth.
What?
But that's actually one of the ways it's either people touching its shovel or sticking its hand through its mouth that it could potentially fucking possess you. Which is horrifying because it looks cute.
Do you have that stuffed Sandygast? Or?
No, I didn't buy it. I should have.
No, I had one. Maybe we gave it away.
Maybe.
I remember putting my hand through its fucking mouth all the time.
It's gonna murder you.
Alright, bro.
It uses power to make children add sand to it and become a bigger Sandygast, and it cares a lot about shovels. So when people take it, it will basically try to hunt it back down. The other thing about Sandygast that's interesting is like if kids leave their piles of sand at the beach, and they don't knock them down, it basically very similar to like Pumpkin Boo. It becomes a vessel for a spirit to inhabit. Which, again, living in the Pokemon world, that makes you wonder about things that you might abandon. And I'm waiting for them. And in terms of future Pokemon, this is, again, something that came to mind when you were talking earlier, is it's all about vessels and all about things that things can possess. So imagine, like, toys you've abandoned.
Yeah.
That was kind of like what Shuppet and Bayonet are, like dolls that you've abandoned.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see like action figures and things like that, or like things that people have abandoned or forgotten about, photo albums or something like that. It like takes a picture, it steals your soul. And I think that's a good lore. But then getting into lores would be like, I would love to see, especially in the Americas, them follow different lores. So a Wendigo-like Pokemon.
Ooh.
Or a Loch Ness Monster or a Bigfoot type Pokemon that embody ghost, but then the other types. So Bigfoot could be like ground or rock. Loch Ness Monster could be ghost and water.
Okay.
Like, I would love to see something like that for future ghosts. But to look at the lores within regions and try to embody that.
Bro, I know Pokemon have cutesy designs or whatever.
Yeah.
I low-key think, and it'll never happen,
Huh.
I think they could probably pull off a pretty stellar, like, Pokemon horror game.
I think they could too.
That'd be really interesting.
I would love that. I think there's a niche for it with people who like horror. Because every Pokemon has adventure. Because you're always defeating someone. There's always, like, some tension, some character that needs saving. But horror would be something you're just playing it and you're uncovering the truth. Yeah. And with all the lore that's in it, why not dive into it?
Oh, and that's one of those things. Yeah, like I was going to get at real quick. It's just like, it's such an interesting IP that you have so many different opportunities to do things like that with.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think one of my favorite examples is, like kind of like Star Wars in a sense. With Star Wars, like, naturally, yeah, you have the movies, and it's all like a space opera. It's all like a very distinct story, and there's, you know, tropes and everything in the Star Wars universe itself.
Indeed.
But then, like, you also have, like, the other shows that hone in on, like, different genres. So, like, in the Clone Wars, which is an animated show, or even the Rebels is another animated show, which I think are two of the best Star Wars content we've had in more recent years.
Yes.
You know, even the Mandalorian, they can borrow from those different genre elements to really, like, there might be an episode that's more creepy than the others or something like that. So it's just like you have this IP with this whole huge built world, all this amazing lore, because a lot of lore goes, like, these ghost Pokemon that we're talking about right now, like, someone wrote that out. Like, there's lore behind it that people don't really realize because no one's reading Dex entries or anything like that. And then some of them are fucked up. Like Sandygast, that's fucked up, dude. Fuck that.
Yeah, and like we've talked about in terms of, like, I would love them to do a take from, like, the Rocket perspective. Them committing crime.
Yeah.
If you had something like that and you're breaking into, like, the haunted, like, I forgot the name of the tower, but the Lavender Town Tower. Do you remember it? Like Sylph Tower?
I just remember the song right now. Was it Sylphco? No.
It was Sylphco because you had the Sylph Scope. But
well, you had to go to Sylphco to get the Sylph Scope.
I forgot the name of that tower. But if they had games that focus on all these things that end up in ruin, so like the Burn Tower and things of that nature, and you look to see, like, the origins of it, and where, like, Team Rocket, Team Magma, and all the shit they've done, I think it'd be great to be on that other side to piece that story together more. Would be something, and specifically with Ghosts, to see everything that they can do.
I think it's literally just called... it's called Pokemon Tower, but it used to be the Kanto Radio Tower.
Okay.
Or no, in Gold and Silver, they turn it into the Kanto Radio Tower.
Yeah, I think that would be something...
That's creepy.
I would love... Yeah, actually, I think that'd be something cool to see. I like that element where you needed something, but in that spirit, like, say you had things that would engage you and you don't know what it is, like you're walking, all of a sudden your character's moved over. People are like, well, that's a glitch. It's like, no, a Pokemon's actually pushing you.
You're getting spooked.
And until you do something, and, like, maybe your Pokemon start getting hurt and you don't know why.
That'd be
interesting. And then you find out, oh, this Pokemon's been fucking with you this whole time. Beat it.
Yeah.
Or
I think that'd be super interesting.
Yeah.
Right on.
So that's something that would be sweet.
Yeah, I agree. So was that your third? For the new Pokemon?
Yeah, Sandygast was my last.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to dive into a couple of ones, and they're interesting Pokemon. The first one I'll dive into, I think, is another Gen 6 Pokemon. For those that don't know, that's games X and Y. You might have seen it around, but this one's called On Edge, and it's a sword. It's a floating sword. Honedge, yeah.
Okay, I was just like,
what? Honedge. And then it evolves into a Pokemon named Doublade. And then it evolves into Aegislash. Aegislash can either be sword mode or shield mode. Essentially, it's a floating sword, so it resembles a sword from medieval times. The body itself is a silver sword with a light gray hilt. Embedded in the hilt is like this blue gem with a slit, so that's like its eye.
Oh, it's a gem?
Yeah.
I always thought it was legitimately an eye.
Well, no, it technically it's a blue gem, but it's also the eye, and that's also said to be the true form of the Honedge. It's not the sword, it's the gem eye.
Ooh.
So, attached to that has this really long dark blue cloth with a swirl design. which is really cool. And the tip of the sash is split into 4 different tassels. However, the sash is known to suck the life energy out of anyone who dares to grab it by the hilt. Like, if you it's a sword, I'm going to grab it, it'll suck your life energy out.
Imagine that at the Ren Fair.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
You will be murked.
We find, like Excalibur's really on edge, and then you go to grab it. Like, everyone that's trying to grab it just dies trying to pull it out of the rock.
It's like, sucker, you son of a bitch.
So it was said to be born from a person's soul after they were killed by the sword that it resides in. Oh. So kind of like Katana from Suicide Squad or whatever. You get killed by her, and your soul gets trapped into the sword. Except for in this case, the sword becomes like sentient and a spooky sword.
Horrifying.
And if you grab it, you get your fucking life sucked out of you, or whatever. So that's on edge or hone edge, and it evolves into double blade, which basically just doubles the swords. And then it evolves. Its 3rd evolution, so it is a 3 evolution. Evolves into Aegislash. And Aegislash, like, it's commonly used because it's a fucking strong ass Pokemon in general. But like, I just think it's really, really interesting. So Aegislash itself, the body resembles like a golden sword. And the edge of the steel blade is white, somewhat serrated near the tip. Serrated blades always creep me out anyway. So where the blade meets the hilt is a single purple eye with a white slit pupil surrounded by black space. Handle forms a thick, striated pike. 2 cloth-like arms emerge from the sides of the hilt, and each arm is primarily black with transitions of pale purple and light swirl from the patterned tip. So it's got a really cool color scheme. I think that's what kind of attracted me to it, other than I just love swords. And again, it can change. It has 2 different stances. So there's like a battle or a blade form and a shield form. Obviously,
battle
you can
defense.
imagine blade form gives it more attack, shield form gives it more defense and everything. So aside from that, Aegislash itself as a Pokemon possesses incredible spectral powers and enables it to manipulate people and Pokemon alike. Make you do its bidding. It's able to detect the innate qualities of leadership. So legend has it that whoever it recognizes as a worthy leader is destined to become king or queen.
Ooh.
In fact, this Pokemon has attended and served generations of kings. However, Aegislash is also rumored to have drained the life of a king, causing his entire kingdom to fall down alongside him.
What a boss-ass Pokemon. He's like,
I give you power.
This guy.
I give you power, and I will take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Like
savage.
Yeah. So it starts its life by getting murked. Its soul then inhabits the blade that murked it.
Death is just the beginning.
And then it gets so powerful that it can manipulate people and Pokemon, and it can basically give you power. That's insane. My next Pokemon is actually one of the newest Pokemon from Gen 8, Galarian region, Galar region, which is basically the UK. Mm-hmm. It's going to be it's a new dragon ghost Pokemon called Dragapult. Dragapult is also very strong in Pokemon, but it's really interesting because it resembles like that ancient like reptile, amphibian, dinosaur thing. Was it like Diplodocus or something like that? This says Diplodocus. You know what I'm talking about, though?
All I can think of... Well, I'm really trying to think, because I just know more than Longnet and the Sauropods.
Okay. Diplodocus, which means double cowl, extinct genus of Leopleurodons. Okay. Kidding. But like an amphibious type of almost dinosaur.
Like Ducky?
Kind of like Ducky.
If you know the Land Before Time, you know who I'm talking about.
They have like a boomerang shaped skull, etc. So it's actually based off of an ancient
dinosaur.
Like dinosaur.
Legit. Now I appreciate him.
And anyway, so it evolves from this little small green Pokemon called Dreepy, which, and if you've ever played the game, you'll know Dreepy is weak as shit on its own. It's just like a literal baby. Baby boy. It's absolute trash. But Dreepy are reborn ghosts of a prehistoric species that once lived in the ancient seas. It tends to wander the locations where it once lived after it is reborn. Dreepy are exceptionally weak in combat, so much that on its own, a mere child could beat it.
Aww. Just have some little kid beating its ass.
However, if it ends up evolving, it becomes much stronger and has friends to help it train.
And it fucks that kid's day up.
So then it evolves into Dragcloak, which is pretty cool. Dragcloak itself, capable of flying at speeds greater than 120 miles per hour. It carries a little baby Dreepy on its head at all times, which it takes care of and fights alongside of until the Dreepy manages to evolve itself. And if it lacks a Dreepy to care for, it becomes really uneasy and desperate to try to find any Pokemon to serve as a substitute for it to take care of. Like, it wants to take care of another Pokemon.
It's a mother.
And then after that, it evolves into a Dragapult.
Alright.
So like I said, it looks like that Diplocaulus. The dorsal side of the Dragapult's flattened head, and the interior half of the body are like very dark navy. So it's got a really cool color scheme. But what makes it really interesting is like Dragapult and its evolutionary family are, like I said, they're ghosts of a prehistoric aquatic Pokemon at one point or time. Dragapult itself carries a pair of the two Dreepies in its horns.
I think I know what you're talking about for the Pokemon. It looks like a salamander, but it comes out.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
So it carries a pair of those little Dreepies in its horns, which it'll fire at its opponents with supersonic speed. It just fires its babies. The funny thing is, like, Dreepies actually love to be shot out of the head.
That's cute.
But yeah, it's still a relatively unknown Pokemon. I'm curious to see if the lore expands, like, in the future.
It should.
But
There's
yeah,
so many
like
prehistoric Pokemon that they should bring to the forefront.
In Sword and Shield, it's a very fast Pokemon, and it's very strong.
It's a beast.
It's the new pseudo legendary. So if you imagine like Dragonite, Tyranitar,
he's up
Salamence,
there.
etc. Dragapult's one of those.
He's just like,
I love it.
What up?
The last ghost Pokemon I'm looking forward to in Pokemon Go, just actually one of my favorite ghost Pokemon, is another ghost Pokemon that people don't realize is probably a ghost, and that's Delmise. Delmise is an anchor. If you've ever played Gen 7, which is Sun and Moon, this Pokemon was introduced. If you look at it, you're like, oh, it's an anchor. It must be a water Pokemon. It's like,
water and grass.
You are completely wrong. It is ghost and grass. But it has access to steel and water moves because it's an anchor.
Yes.
So it's really interesting. So the Pokemon itself, you haven't seen it. It's made up of an anchor and a ship's wheel held together by a massive green seaweed. And you're like, okay, that's cool. It's whatever. The anchor itself is like rusted. And then like the seaweed is actually called, it's based off of an actual seaweed called Dead Man's Fingers. Kind of creepy, Jesus. Right? And, but anyway, so the Delmise itself, like I said, so it's a ghost Pokemon. It like swims through the sea, which is kind of funny.
How the fuck does it swim?
I don't know, dude.
Okay.
It's an anchor. It just moves.
Just like how Dratini floats and there's no verification of
True. Delmise itself, actually, it hunts. Like, it's a predator. It prefers large prey, like, and I'm talking about large, like whalers and whale lords.
What?
Large. And the heavy anchor itself, because it's an anchor, it can be swung with enough force to knock out like a whale lord in one blow. Like it murks this whale lord, because then after that, it envelops the entire body in seaweed, because the seaweed can be stretched like hundreds of yards, and then it sucks out their life. Like just drains their life.
I'm just trying to like picture this in like nature, and it horrifies me because like it's in essence like a squid, but condensed. Like the seaweed can engulf it, because I think of like giant squids and like sperm whales. Like it's willing to like engulf you, attack you, and if it kills you, then it's gonna like hold your ass and then like eat you.
Yeah,
that's almost like.
Yeah, it's kind of like a giant squid.
It's like, don't go into the oceans. Absolutely
not going to... Like, if this is a Pokemon universe, I'm not going into the ocean. I already don't go into the ocean. But anyways, yeah. So that's Delmise. He's a ghost grass Pokemon. Pretty legit. I love it, man.
The biology of the Pokemon is insane.
Yeah?
Like, I can't picture Delmise eating anything. I thought for sure it was like like a whale. Like it eats small things like metals people drop in the trash. It's like, oh, nom nom nom. Like,
well, it
here's
doesn't even
trash,
just
nom,
like
nom, nom, noms.
technically eat it. It absorbs their life force, so it just drains you until you're dead, and then it
swims away. And I guess Sharpedos would just come and eat the body.
or something like that. Maybe, I don't know.
Or clam pearls or something.
The ocean's scary. Pokemon are scary.
Ocean is scary. Like I still remember, and all I can think about is like that icicle of death.
Uh-huh.
So if you're ever bored, something interesting to watch on YouTube is like the icicle of death or a finger of death, and you search like underwater. And it's basically like this ice, like, because ice, when it freezes in the ocean, isn't just like a block. It comes down as like a finger or like an arrow, and it comes down. It showed like this coral reef, and the ice froze from the surface and came down, and you see it just itching closer. And you see all these starfish just like living their life, like living la vida loca, and then the ice touches the ground and it just starts freezing and killing everything.
Oh no.
And it was horrifying because, again, you're watching all this and whatever speed time lapse they have. Like, nature, especially in the ocean, is a whole other beast that I don't think people realize. And if you enjoy animals in nature, you're probably familiar. But anyone who does not, I highly encourage you to, like, just look into that shit, because all sorts of crazy shit happens in our current world. So living in a Pokemon world, I can only imagine it ups the ante of fuckery that's afoot. But it would also be kind of interesting to see. Wild.
It is wild. I have a couple of real quick honorable mentions.
Okay.
Phantom.
He's so cute.
One of those cute ghosts. Uh-huh. Basically, it seems pretty happy and whimsical, but in Pokemon Sword and Shield, they updated their Pokedex entry a little bit.
No.
So, after a child perishes in a forest, like a child dies in the forest because it's like lost or whatever, their spirit possesses a tree stump. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Causing the spirit's rebirth as this Pokemon. After that, with a voice like a human child's, it cries out to lure other adults in deep into the forest, which gets them lost among the trees forever.
All I can think of how many phantoms are in Viridian Forest.
There's a lot.
Because that's the other thing I've realized in all those games. You don't really see many kids or old people around.
You tell me all these Pokemon fucked up all these people?
Well, think about it. Like, there's wild phantoms, which means all those were children who were lost.
Yes.
It just makes me think back to, like, Naruto and the ninja trials and shit.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's like, yeah, Naruto and them made it, but it's like, how many kids fucking died along the way?
True.
We always just gloss over that fact that, like, children didn't make it out of that. And I think the same goes for Pokemon Go, especially knowing how horrifying the world is.
Yeah.
Kids are being murked. Like, a 10-year-old going into the, like, Pokemon Tower, not knowing that they need a Silph Scope to, like, navigate.
Yeah.
Or you're going there to mourn your dead Pokemon and the spirit decides it's going to murk you instead. Yeah. How many, like, the body count of these Pokemon is probably insane.
Oh, naturally. Absolutely. And, like, if you think your kids are safe, let's not... Have you ever heard Litwick's lore? Do you know Litwick's lore at all? Basically, it's a Litwick, cute little candle Pokemon, turns into Chandelier or whatever. It has a little candle, right? And, like, you think it's, like, innocent or whatever. Its flame is actually usually out. However, it lights, it starts shining if it's absorbing life force from people or Pokemon. So if you see a Litwick with its candle lighting, it's absorbing something's life force. First of all. Secondly, the flame on its head keeps its body slightly warm. This is from Sword. Okay. This Pokemon takes lost children by the hand to guide them to the spirit world.
So many escorts of fucking death, dude. Like,
just like...
No child is fucking safe
little
here.
Candle. Little Litwick. Come on, bro.
That's true. Safety's an illusion anyway, so...
Yeah, no, the Pokemon world would be absolutely terrifying. I'm not ready for it.
No. Not in the slightest.
And yeah, so anywho, that's just a couple of spooky or ghosty stories we wanted to share with you guys.
Jesus.
I thought it'd be pretty interesting, pretty fun.
What's Mimikyu's story?
Mimikyu?
Yeah.
It hates
Just
itself.
real quick.
It hates itself. It wants to be a fucking Pikachu. Duh.
Well, it wants love and affection.
Yeah.
That's why it has a costume.
True. So you want to go through Mimikyu if you guys didn't know?
Real quick.
In case you haven't seen, Mimikyu is all over the fucking place. It's a very popular Pokemon. It is awesome. I hate Pikachu, but I actually really do like Mimikyu.
Mimikyu's gorgeous.
I'll just read this
Beautiful
straight up.
Boy.
So Mimikyu is a lonely Pokemon. It's always covered by its disguise. It's unknown that Mimikyu's true appearance looked like. Since the Pokemon is weakened by the sunlight, it is rumored that the veil is used for protection. It's believed that seeing its true form will cause a mysterious illness or even painful death. Because of this, Mimikyu will become agitated and violently stop anyone from attempting to look underneath its rag. So it doesn't actively want to kill you. It knows it can kill you, though.
Yeah. It's considerate.
Mimikyu's disguise is modeled after Pikachu for some dumb reason. Oh, wait. It's because of the popularity of Pikachu-style merchandise, thinking that its disguise would allow it to make friends with people.
Aww.
Unfortunately, this attempt makes its disguise look even more creepy because it looks like a stitched-together dead Pikachu. The rag it wears allows Mimikyu to avoid attacks. If its rag is damaged or its neck is broken, it will spend all night patching it in front of a mirror as if its life depends on it. Repairing the rag correctly is often difficult for Mimikyu, so it cries a lot on the inside.
Aww.
It then seeks revenge on the one that damaged it, fearing that its true identity could have been exposed. Unforgiving, Mimikyu will take down the culprit to the point of costing its life in the process. Fun fact, its Z move in Sun and Moon was called Let's Snuggle Forever.
Snuggle forever. No.
It just looks like a mysterious dark abyss. You know, like
horrifying.
Basically, Let's Snuggle Forever is like the move Play Rough.
Yes.
It's like a super version of that.
Oh.
Mimikyu strikes a series of synchronized poses with its trainer to build Z power, then jumps towards the opponent, expands the size of its disguise, and lands over the opponent, covering them. While it is inside its rag, Mimikyu attacks the opponent.
That's legit. I feel that. That's a mood.
So it beats the ever-living shit out of you. Alright?
I feel that, and it does it in its disguise, so it's at least considerate of other people's gaze.
Poor Mimikyu.
Now that's... Ooh. I know the one thing that I'm hoping, and again with Galarian and other future versions, is that they do more type changing. So we have the Galarian and Alolan forms. I really hope they continue that same mindset.
Yeah.
And do other Pokemon. Like, it'd be great to see more Ghost Bugs, so like a different Scyther. Or Pinsir. Or Pokemon that don't have forms, so like a Ghost Metal. Like Skymory, would be sweet. Like, I would love to see more of that in the world.
I think that'd be great.
I think almost kind of like, I think by Jurassic Park when they had a spin-off that they didn't continue that would have been sweet. It's called Chaos Effect. Anyone from the 90s might remember those toys. They did hybrids where they dove into genetic mutations and apply them to dinosaurs. So I can only imagine it. And you might see it. So one fun thing to do if you're ever bored, as like for you listeners out there, look up Pokemon Fusions.
Those are fun.
Those are really fun. Fusions. And there's all sorts of like theoretical Pokemon out there that I think Niantic should jump on. Because that's a whole niche that Pokemon itself hasn't done.
Yeah.
That Niantic could have something special for themselves and should.
I agree.
Be sweet. But I want more Ghost Boys because I think they're pretty sweet.
They are.
And you could make the typings unique and you just go from there.
I agree.
But yeah.
Right on. We got anything else for me?
No. I think, again, be safe. Watch your horror movies. They teach you good life lessons of not to be fucking stupid. Yeah, and just
they're entertaining because they're just comical to me.
But they're comical. I take like lessons of what not to do in preparedness.
True.
I'm always analyzing in horror or suspense.
I learned the same lessons from Scary Movie though.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's true. But yeah, I think those movies are sweet, but again, be safe.
Yeah, please.
If you're in Colorado, dress warm, because
getting
it's
cold.
probably going to be cold as
out
fuck.
of nowhere.
So, yeah, I have nothing else.
Right on. Well, thanks for joining us. This special episode of After Rain Hours.
Oh my God.
All right, we love you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.